What's going on, guys? It's TheHunterProject here. Welcome back to my channel. So it seems we've received more leaks for the rumoured Resident Evil 4 remake that is yet to be confirmed by Capcom, and these leaks are quite impactful to the story and original game overall. And to be fair, this is no surprise considering we did also get inside information claiming that the first draft of the remake was scrapped by Capcom because it was too similar to the original, and the project was apparently shifted from the external Resident Evil team that worked on the Resident Evil 3 remake to the internal Capcom team responsible for the more well-received Resident Evil 2 remake. This is understandable given how monumental of a task this remake will be to make, considering how well received the original was, and just in general how much it influenced for the games that came after. And I think it definitely needs a very strong team in order to recreate it faithfully whilst bringing something new to the table done right. We know that there are many rumours aligning with the idea that the game's timeline will be altered to fit a more logical and modern storytelling approach. One of the main changes that was leaked is said to involve giving Ashley, Louise and Sadler more significant roles and more dedicated story overall. Ashley is said to have a new design as well, which may link to the leak of Claire's character model being within the remake. So Ashley's new design may be based off Claire's RE2 remake polygon structure, possibly, but that is just me guessing and just linking two leaks together that sound like they would go hand in hand, as I definitely don't, I say definitely, I don't think that Claire will be in the game. Of course, that's not definite, but just from the top of my head, I don't think they would shove a main character of the series into RE4 when she never had any place within the original. But they could do something, I don't know, they could really revamp the story. But regardless, moving back to Ashley and how she is gonna be given more of a significant role. She will also be more of a partner this time, with the ability to distract enemies for Leon, as well as helping to unlock doors. The unlocking doors part that this leak claims to state, it's not too far off the original. Ashley did help you unlock doors here and there. It could be a tiny bit more fleshed out possibly in how the mechanics work for getting through to different areas. But regardless, that is what it says for Ashley. So let me know down below what you think of this. I'm guessing most people will be pretty happy about this, as Ashley wasn't exactly the best of characters in the original. Personally, I didn't hate her, but I didn't exactly like her character either. I was just pretty neutral about it. I doubt they will give her a handgun, considering, of course, it does say that she's going to be a partner for Leon. I don't think they will give her a handgun, but they could. Let me know down below what you think, if they should give Ashley a handgun or not, for at least the segments that she is with Leon. But according to this, she's going to be able to distract enemies for him, so I doubt they will give her any guns, which I'm kind of for. I would rather have it as closer to the original, where you're having to protect her, rather than her just becoming just a soldier that you're fighting next to. And as for Louise and Sadler's roles, they will be more fleshed out as well, but their details are a little bit more clouded. I wasn't able to find anything too concrete on this, so just in general, I'm glad that they will have more significant roles. For Luis specifically, I would love a segment of the campaign where we play as him to retrieve the sample for Leon within the castle. And of course, we all know how that ends. I won't spoil anything. We know the cutscene of when he does meet up with Leon and how that goes down, but just the sample retrieval in general, I think, could make for a pretty fun gameplay. It would be similar to how we played as Carlos in the RE3 remake, in the hospital trying to get the antidote for Jill's T-virus infection. But in general, I would be fine if they didn't do that and they just gave him more story time in the cutscenes. But if we did get to play with him and use his Red 9 and all that, I think that would be extremely cool. In addition to this, we are told that Assignment Ada is being scrapped, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did get some additional storytelling for Ada's character within separate ways, which of course is her little campaign that goes hand in hand with Leon's, and they have a few crossovers here and there. But just in general, I would love to see more Ada storytelling, as well as RE4 does have some pretty cool side characters which weren't fully fleshed out in the original, but I still think the original did a good job for the time it was made, and I would be more than happy to have some additional story segments to just flesh those characters out. But another significant change that is more visually impacting is that apparently a large portion of the game will now be at nighttime, and this does seem to include the initial village introduction, which could make for a much more spookier experience. It's pretty evident that Capcom really want to go more towards the horror approach rather than the action, but I think it's reasonable to assume there will still be a decent chunk of action within the title, as it's part of what made the original so great. It was also leaked that a lot of boss fights are going to be scrapped, and we will be probably getting a few new ones in place of them, just so they fit better with the story and are not too just randomly placed within the game. And I think we also have a whole new final boss, so that's definitely going to be interesting to see if that is true. And I don't know if it's going to be Sadler. I think there are a few leaks here and there that are also claiming that Sadler will be a scientist rather than the cult leader. He might be a bit of both, I'm not too sure. But in general, I think that we are in for quite a big change to the original, but I hope they do maintain the general timeline that the original had. I'm guessing they probably will, as I think if they just completely changed the story and just had the general rescue Ashley involved, I don't think many people would be pleased with that. But obviously let me know down below what you guys think of how much they're changing from the original and whether or not you think it's a good or bad thing. We are yet to see anything official from Capcom about this remake. They have not said a single thing about it, but leaks do suggest that we will be getting something soon, with the reveal planned for early 2022. My guess being that we will probably see at E3 2022 at the latest, followed by a late 2022 release. And of course, early 2022, it could be anywhere between this month, March, April, and like I said, I think May would be the latest in terms of when we see this remake. But in general, I think it is pretty exciting from what we're hearing. The hype for this game is definitely starting to build up slowly, and I'm excited to see what we have in store for us. With the expanded roles of our side characters and an overall scarier tone to the game, I think this project could definitely benefit Resident Evil 4 in being more closely in line with its predecessors, with like how RE1, 2 and 3, at least the original versions of them were. RE3 Remake was a bit more action orientated, but in general, I think it would be pretty cool to see a much spookier version of Resident Evil 4. I think they are taking a bit of inspiration, at least I'm guessing they're going to be taking inspiration from the alpha builds they had, where he was in the like Misty Castle, where Leon was in the Misty Castle, I should say. And I think in general, we are in for a treat. But of course, whether or not these changes that have been leaked are a bad thing is going to be down to you. Let me know down below if you guys think that these changes are needed and you want to see something new while it's still maintaining like a rough general timeline that the original had, or if you want it to be exactly like the original with just remade graphics and all the above, like all the audio remade, the menus and such. Let me know down below, and I would love to see how the community is divided on that idea. But regardless, that does bring us to the end of this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, like would be extremely appreciated. It does help out the channel a ton. And don't forget to subscribe for a lot more Resident Evil content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.